our last subtitle for today is the election of 1844. Of course, Tyler is running for election in the election of 1844. Not necessarily re-election, but he's looking to actually gain the presidency when he just got it by default before. But the major issue in this election is manifest destiny. Again, America wants to expand all the way to the West Coast, and maybe even into Canada and Mexico, as we saw a little bit yesterday. Americans at this time, the voting Americans, want an expansionist. An expansionist is someone who wants to expand the U.S. territory, someone who's focused on that. Tyler is an expansionist. However, he fails to get the Southern vote. So out of those two goals that we listed earlier, annex Texas and get the Southern vote, Tyler only succeeds in one of them. We'll see that in just a moment. Clay is also an expansionist, but he opposes Texas annexation, which means he also loses the Southern vote. And so neither of them get a strong election in this one. In fact, Tyler actually drops out partway through the election because he knows he's not going to get reelected. That leaves us with Democrat James K. Polk, who does favor annexation and is an expansionist. So during this election, the Democrats regain the power that they lost after Martin Van Buren's presidency. They regained both the presidency and both houses of Congress. So Democrats in power once again. This leaves Tyler in a bit of an awkward situation. This is called a lame duck period. This is the time between the election, when Tyler, of course, doesn't get elected, and when he leaves office. So he knows that he's an outgoing president. A lame duck period is when the outgoing president, his successor, has already been elected, so he knows he's leaving. He doesn't really have a lot to lose, but this is also kind of a way of saying he wasn't very effective during his presidency at all. So during this period, right before he leaves office in March of 1845, Tyler signs the Texas Annexation Treaty and officially annexes Texas to the Union, which will become a state later that year. In fact, on his very last day in office, the last thing he does is send the message to Sam Houston personally, telling him that Texas has been annexed. Tyler doesn't really do a whole lot else during his presidency. He's pretty much only known for a few of those weird things that happened and the Texas annexation. His own party actually turns against him because they think that Harrison is going to be a pushover. When Tyler gets into office, he's pretty much the opposite, and he refuses to give in to Congress. And so his own party turns against him. In fact, they try to impeach him, but don't get very far. So, in the end, that's pretty much all John Tyler gets to do. He retires, and actually later, his wife goes on. He and his wife both go on to support the South during the Civil War. So not a great legacy for John Tyler. That's the end of our notes today. Make sure you've written down any questions that you have, and make sure you take the review quiz using your notes for today.